Hey, it's Dan Noel with the Johnson team. I am loading up on a Saturday afternoon, a cloudy Saturday afternoon. I'm a little disappointed. Oh well, can't have sun forever. But we are loading up the beast for our donation from the Johnson team past client family to the Hangar, which is a charity for teenagers and kids, primarily teenagers, who are going into foster care and are in foster care and might need some clothing that they don't have access to. So we're loaded up, we're getting ready to head that way, and we'll see you there. All right, so here is the beast. You can see we've got quite a lot loaded up into the back here. We had this in my little Mazda CX-5, and it proved to be grossly inadequate. We had to load up the front as well, or the middle seat here as well. So I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, about 13 full bags of clothes, among other things. And we also collected, I think, about $135 in donations. So thank you guys so much. We're gonna load up, hit the road, and get these dropped off for the kids. This is a 1998 Ford Expedition. Yeah, you don't worry about curbs when you're in the Beast. Or the Hulk, or whatever we're calling it these days.
Bruce.
Bruce. Yeah, Allie wants to name him Bruce. I'm not sure if that's appropriate. Explain Bruce.
Like Bruce Banner.
Who's Bruce Banner?
The Hulk.
Maybe we should. Maybe he has like dual persona. Doesn't the Hulk, like when he gets mad, Bruce Banner turns into the Hulk? Is that what it goes? How it goes?
Yes.
See, I know stuff. So
It's big and green, but it's not angry.
it's not angry right now.
Taking Bruce for an outing.
Bruce is going for an outing to do some goodwill on behalf of the past clients and friends of the Johnson team. Off we go. So this is part of what I love about being on the Johnson team, is that we obviously sell real estate, but that's not our why. That's just our how. So our why has a lot more to do with our people, our community, people who we've never met in our community, but hope to be able to help. And so if we focus on that, like the reason that we're doing this, and then the next thing is how we do it is by providing excellent customer service and making sure that we add value to the lives of every single person we encounter professionally, and that we do a better job than anyone else. Then the what is pretty easy. Well, what do we do? Real estate. It's what we're great at, and so it's what we focus on. It's just another day to refocus on our why, which is helping people in our community who need our help and who are less fortunate than we are, and we'll get back to selling real estate as soon as we can. I love it. But now it's time for me to. The Bruce Banner just turned into the Hulk. I'm not trying to brag, but he just got up to 50 miles an hour, and I don't even have a strong backwind today, so just saying. So the Hulk is already being emptied rapidly here at CASA. Well, more specifically, the Hangar, which is a service of CASA. CASA is court-appointed special advocates. We'll talk more about them in a minute with one of their amazing volunteers. And I'm too busy getting video to help, so I'm gonna stop getting video and start helping. We'll get this done.
I've been with CASA 19 years. I've been an advocate in the dependency and neglect
Okay.
part of CASA, working child abuse cases in the court system. CASAs are just community volunteers. We go through a very extensive background check and then very extensive training.
You're a very needed CASA.
I guess so. And then we are appointed by judges to child abuse and neglect cases.
Okay.
And we become advocates for the children in that case to make sure that their wants and needs are represented in court, and that they are placed as quickly as possible in a permanent, safe, loving home. I have a case right now involving 2 teenage girls. I've had this case for 3 years. Hopefully it's about to end soon. I also am on the Milton Foster Children's Fund, which is a committee under CASA that takes requests for medical, educational, and recreational needs for these kids that are in out-of-home placement. Just things that we can do for them that make their lives a little bit more normal. They want to play a musical instrument, we get them lessons. They'd like to play sport, we make that happen. We'll get a tutor for them if they're behind school. We do medical needs that are not covered by Medicaid. We also have a Saturday at the North Pole every year that's just for families, foster families in El Paso and Teller County. This year we had over 1,000 people come.
Wow.
And then about 5 years ago, we started the Hangar, which is our store only for teenagers in foster care, where they can come on Saturdays and shop for free. I had a case that involved a teenage girl who was placed out east of town, kind of in a rural foster home. So she not only changed families, yet again, but she changed schools, and she was picked up on truancy charges downtown. And she finally just cracked and said she wouldn't go to this big new school where she didn't know anybody in the same t-shirt and jeans every day. And so it was a wake-up call to me that if some clothes that she could pick out, that she liked, that she felt good in, would make her go to school, then that was something we needed to do. So we've had a 17-year-old girl come in a couple of weeks ago that has never once in her life walked into a store, picked something out, tried it on in a dressing room, and gone home with it. She literally didn't know how to shop, if you can imagine that, for a teenage girl. The Hangar is a store right here in the CASA office building. We're open on Saturdays from 1 to 4. Any teenager ages 12 to 21 in an open dependency and neglect case who does not live at home with biological parents is welcome to come and shop for things that they want and need. Everything in the Hangar is donated to us. Some of it is gently used, some of it is brand new. And we are fully aware that clothing doesn't make the person, that how you look is not the most important thing, but having clothes that you picked out, that you like, that make you feel like you fit in, keeps you in school, can totally change these kids.
Awesome.
We average about 50 teenagers every single Saturday that come in, and sometimes they don't come to shop. They come here because it's the only place in town that's just for kids like them. These kids can't go to the mall on Saturday. They can't go to a movie on Saturday. They can't do these things that most teenagers do. So, but they know they can come to the Hangar. We have guitar lessons every Monday night. We supply the guitars. They just have to show up. Any kid that wants a tutor, and most of them need tutors, we will find an adult tutor that will work with them one-on-one in any subject. We offer art classes. A lot of these kids are extremely artistic, and sometimes in their therapy, they use a lot of art therapy. So we have art classes. Right now we have an entrepreneur class going on that's probably about a 6-month class. We are having holiday parties are really a big deal for these kids because as children, a lot of them didn't have birthday parties, or Halloween is coming and there's a church in town that's throwing a huge Halloween party, and it will be fantastic for these kids because as little kids they didn't get to do that kind of thing. We are always in need of new or gently used clothing items that any teenager would want. And there's just as many boys in foster care as there are girls, and they're just as into it as the girls are, how they look. We always need full-size toiletry items. We always need volunteers. The overall goal, strategic goal for CASA is to serve every child in need by the year 2020. There's so many ways to volunteer here. You can go through the training and be an advocate and work a case. We also have our SEP program, which is Supervised Exchange and Parenting Program, and that's where CASA volunteers oversee court-ordered visits between non-custodial parents and custodian and their kids. You can volunteer at the hangar, which is a really, really fun way to volunteer at CASA. There's all kinds of ways you can volunteer at CASA, but we always need volunteers. At www.casappr for pikespeakregion.org.
Got it.
This is Jill Cheatham, and she works at CASA.
The hangar, the teen programs, which is what we're doing